Good morning. I'm from the East Coast, so it's afternoon for me, but appreciate the opportunity to be here. We're super excited about this project and really appreciate the opportunity to come here and tell you a little bit about it. The Supervisor Levingood's office reached out and asked us to come today. It was an automatic yes. We look to be part of this community and build what we think is going to be a game changer, like I said, here in Southern California and also in Nevada. So I've got a short presentation. I want to talk to you a little bit about who we are as a company and what we've done so far, and then what our plans are for the California to Nevada project. So I work for Virgin Trains USA, and we are looking, as the slide says, we are looking to reinvent passenger travel here in the United States. And we're going to do that by focusing on markets that are too close to fly and too long to drive, key strategic city pairs, and change the way you look and you experience train travel. That's not a knock on Amtrak. We still need a national train system to move people across the country. But our purpose is really to focus on those city pairs, like I said, too close to fly, too far to drive, that are heavily congested, and we think that's kind of our role to play in the national infrastructure. Another part of what we do differently in approaching train travel is we're very, very focused on the customer experience. So and Supervisor Levingood and some others from Victorville and Apple Valley and from the area came down to Miami to ride our system in Florida. We have a system that's up and running in South Florida, and to experience it. And I think if you talk to them, they'll tell you that this is completely, this is not your grandfather's railroad at all. Everything from the station itself to the trains is designed with the customer experience in mind. So we want a first-class customer experience. And we think that'll play very well in this particular system here, from here to Las Vegas. And to make train travel enjoyable, comfortable, productive if you want to be productive, but just make the entire experience enjoyable. One thing I should mention, so if you look at our senior leadership, I'm a railroad guy. I came from the freight railroad, have a freight railroad background, but a lot of our senior leaderships are hospitality. Our president is a hotel guy. So a lot of focus is put on, a lot of attention is put on the customer. And part of that experience, and this will play into the, as we develop here in the high desert, it's not just having a train from point A to point B. The entire experience is important. The entire customer experience is important. And part of that is connectivity. We just can't drop you, like in Florida, for example, we can't drop you off in downtown Miami and say goodbye. Because if you can't get to where you're going to go, you're not going to ride on us again. So to use Miami as an example, we've got great connectivity at all of our stations. We connect, in downtown Miami, we connect with their commuter rail system, their downtown circulator. We have our stations are designed with rideshare and taxis in mind, so it's not an afterthought. There's a branded Lyft pickup area. We have a partnership with Lyft, but Uber uses it as well. Private shuttles use it. Paratransit uses it. And it's very intuitive when you get off the train to where you're going to go to get your ride. And then we also connect with local transit and, like I said, private shuttles. We have bike share at all of our stations, rental car desk at all of our stations, and just really good connectivity, because again, that's important. And as we begin to develop out here out west, we'll look to do that on both ends, both in Las Vegas and then in our initial station here in the Victor Valley area. And then a third component of our company, we're transportation, we're hospitality, but we're also a real estate company. So we use Miami as an example. We're not going to replicate this exactly here in Apple Valley and Victorville. It'll be to scale and it'll be to what the community needs. But if you look at transportation in America, we're really good at building transportation facilities. As a society, we're really good at building transportation facilities, but we're really bad at capturing the value that those facilities create. So we'll build a highway somewhere with a highway interchange, and the authority, the government that built that road, doesn't capture any of the value that interchange creates. But the four quadrants of that interchange, the people that own the real estate around that, they see their value go way up, right? Same with transit systems and with train systems. Well, as a private company, we look to capture some of the value that our trains create because our stations really are magnets for economic development. So if you look at Miami, we had 11 acres in downtown Miami, and it was in a section of downtown Miami that was neglected for decades. It really was not. If you were there past 5 p.m., you needed to get out of there quickly. But since we built the station, not just our development, the adjacent property owners have woken up and they've started to make massive investments in their properties, and the place has just come alive, and it's really exciting to see. And we built 2 Class A office buildings that are now fully leased. We built 2 apartment towers with 816 apartments, and then 150,000 square feet of retail and restaurant space that is just hopping. So again, a neglected area, our train comes in and was a magnet for economic development. So we've done similar TOD, transit-oriented development, at our other stations in Fort Lauderdale and in West Palm Beach. And I forgot to mention, we've been operating in those markets for about 18 months, and we are extending to Orlando. So our Orlando extension is currently under construction. So again, look to capture the value that those stations create in those markets with transit-oriented development. And as we expand out west, we'll want to do something similar. So certainly on the Las Vegas side at our station space, there'll be a lot of really exciting opportunities. Again, maybe not exactly to this scale, but some exciting opportunities on the Las Vegas side. But also here, again, we're not going to have 816 apartment, 2 skyscrapers with 816 apartments, but we will look to do some housing, some apartments, and some other types of development around our station to capture that value. And then I think the property owners in the area, the bigger area around our station, will also see some activity as well. So looking out west, we've been very successful in Florida, and once we began construction or had construction for Orlando underway, we started to look around the country for other city pairs that made sense. And we've taken a really hard look at places like Atlanta to Charlotte, Houston to Dallas, Chicago, St. Louis, Portland, Seattle. There are some city pairs that we have our eye on that we think would be a great fit for us. But the city pair that really bubbled up to the top as a no-brainer was, the Southern California market to Las Vegas. It's I-15 corridor. It's heavily traveled, and it's not getting any better from a congestion standpoint. It's only going to get worse, and the demand's only going to continue to increase. So there's I think a role for us here, and it's a good fit for us. So we last spring we acquired a company called Desert Express Enterprises LLC, which was the company that has been looking at high-speed rail in this corridor for a long time. And what that allowed us to do in acquiring it is we got the environmental the record of decision that they got from the federal government, and we have a lot of those approvals already in place. So it really was a shovel-ready corridor, and it's something that we could act on quickly. And instead of taking 7 years like Florida did, we think this is something that we can compress into a much tighter timeline and get moving on this. So that was very appealing as well. So we'll operate on the I-15 corridor, primarily in the median. So on the California side, we'll be almost entirely within the median of the I-15 corridor. There's plenty of room for us to operate there. When we get into Nevada, we'll fly over and then operate on the east side of I-15 into the downtown Las Vegas area. On this side, we'll have an initial station in the high desert area. We control property on each side of I-15, Apple Valley and Victorville. So we'll build a station there at Dale Evans, and then operate the system. And we'll look to extend west to Palmdale. And then when we get to Palmdale, we really have the ability to tie into other passenger rail systems, MetroLink, and then a future state high-speed rail system as well. So really good opportunities for connectivity there. In the interim, we're still very confident that a system from Apple Valley to Las Vegas will work very well. Initially, there'll be it'll be mostly California to Nevada flow. People that will come to this area, park their car, get on their train, and start their Las Vegas weekend here in the Victor Valley. And then 90-minute train ride. We'll operate trains every 45 minutes in Florida, we operate every hour. Here, we think we can do it every 45 minutes. And again, a high level of service, and you begin, you have a drink as soon as you get on the train, you begin your Vegas weekend. In Florida, we have a system where, you get in West Palm Beach, if you're going on a cruise out of Port Miami, you check your bags in West Palm Beach. You don't see your bags again until you get to your cabin on the cruise ship. So you can begin your cruise experience right away. Likewise, we'll do something similar where you check your bags here, and you won't see them again until you get to your resort in Las Vegas, so you can begin your experience right away. You're not stuck in travel. I've heard some people say, well, if I get to Victorville, I might as well just drive the rest of the way. That's fine. They'll do that until that first time when they see a train pass them. And then 45 minutes, they see another train pass them. And if it's like a Friday or a Sunday, they may see like 4 or 5 trains pass them, right? And then we have them. And we know once we get them on the train, we've got them sold, because it really is a great experience, and it's part of the, people don't want to be stuck in travel. So like I said, I think initially that flow makes automatic sense. We know we can capture that. The trick will be to develop the Nevada to California flow, and we'll be looking to work. We'll want to extend to Palmdale, but in the interim, we'll have good partnerships with rideshare like we already do in Florida. And the other advantage compared to like Amtrak or another commuter rail system, if you get on a commuter rail somewhere, you get on the train, they don't know who you are, you don't know where you're going to sit. It's kind of a mad dash. With our booking system, we know who you are, you know where you're going to sit, and we can work with you to arrange travel before you even wake up that day. When you get on our train, something's already waiting for you. If we can identify that people are going to us common locations, we can arrange partnerships with private shuttle companies. We've been very successful doing that in Florida, and we're confident we can be successful here, and then see more parity in the flows each way between California and Nevada. So that's where we're at. What else? We're at 180 miles, roughly 170 miles, fully electric trains. So in Florida, we operate diesel electric, but the train sets we're going to operate out here are going to be fully electric, very environmentally friendly, and faster than our Florida ones. So we get up to 180 miles here, and I think will be a great asset to the transportation in the region. Let me go back real quick. So then real quick, I'll close with the environmental and the economic benefits of this. We are privately funded, so we're paying for this. Just like our Florida system, we're using a similar financing model that we did in Florida. We're paying for this. This is not a publicly funded. The bonds that we use are not backed by any government. But even though it's privately financed, there are substantial public benefits that are important to note. So we're going to take 4.5 million cars off the road each year. That's 811 million vehicle miles traveled off the road each year, and 300,000 metric tons of carbon removed from the air, or emissions are removed each year. So substantial benefits. During construction, we'll employ thousands. So over 13,000 jobs created during the 3-year construction period, and then over 500 ongoing jobs here in this region, and good jobs too. We're going to have our vehicle maintenance facility. In addition to the station and the development that happens around the station, we'll have what we call a vehicle maintenance facility, which, on one hand, it's a shed that we clean and fix the trains, but on the other hand, they're very, very technical, very high-skilled jobs. So in Florida, our train sets were built by Siemens out of Sacramento, and we have a team of Brightline Virgin Trains employees that work there, embedded with a team from Siemens that work there. So over 100 jobs in Florida where they maintain the train, clean it, repair it, and overnight. So as the trains come in, this all happens overnight, and then the trains go out the next day. Very high-skilled, high-paying jobs. So we'll have a facility here, a similar facility here, with about 100 jobs, 100 really, really good jobs. So in addition to the construction jobs, and thousands of construction jobs, there'll be hundreds of jobs ongoing, and then also the economic development activity that the station will generate, just like it has in Florida. So in closing, again, there's my contact information. We're really looking forward to working with you. We're very, very excited about this project. Again, Supervisor Lovingood, really appreciate your support. Support of the Victorville and Apple Valley elected officials and others. It's been a great partnership, and we look forward to growing that partnership and look to an exciting project. So thank you.